Greetings, Culturians, and welcome back. You know what? Out Magazine, in their own headline, says that Bad Bunny's Super Bowl 2026 couldn't be gayer. And you know what? They're probably right. Here we go. Now, before we get started, just a quick reminder, we're trying to get to 50K around here, so double check you're still subscribed. Hit that button right now, turn it from red to gray, please, and then hit the bell icon and turn on all notifications because you don't want to miss anything. I'm increasing the amount of video content I'm producing every week, and I'm also doing a number of live streams, so you don't want to miss any of that stuff. Lots of news is happening all at once, and as we go into the end of the football year with the Super Bowl, well, there's going to be more of this, including bigots be danged or whatever else they put in their headline. But they're all still reacting to what I think many of us reacted to initially, the announcement of a person who didn't tour the United States because America bad. Now he's the headline guy. He's the halftime show guy. He's the dress-wearing guy? Yeah, that seems to be a thing. And you know what? I don't really care. I'm not going to watch this. I'm going to watch an alternative, and we'll get to that in just a moment. So don't go anywhere, okay? Stick around for this one. Let's try and make it to the end, because the end is going to be special. But is Bad Bunny really wearing a dress for the 2026 Super Bowl halftime show? Supposedly, for the win, says, yeah, according to a, fashion designer, somebody that works for this guy, Bad Bunny plans to don a dress during his 2026 Super Bowl halftime show to honor Puerto Rican queer icons and generations of drag, resistance, and cultural rebellion. Because these big political statements at a football game for football fans is a good plan. Right, Roger? You're a lawyer. What's one of the things that isn't going to help your case here against traditional football fans who told you this was a bad plan from the beginning? It's this kind of divisive action. And if it happens, which likely will, what's the NFL going to do? They've created a cultural adversarial relationship with an enormous chunk of their audience. I would say that since more people have been pointing out that some of this stuff is becoming increasingly unpopular, large brands are trying to step away from it, which is why people, have pointed out the collapse of Target or the collapse of Cracker Barrel or any of these other institutions that took their traditional audience and kicked them in the teeth. It doesn't work. It isn't successful, and it's a bad plan. People come to the Super Bowl to watch, commercials. And this year they have a winner. A baby Clydesdale is going to become a star. If you want to see a sneak peek of Budweiser's 2026 Super Bowl ad, you can. You can read this article over on People and decide whether or not this is going to bring you in to watch the Super Bowl. Or, believe it or not, you can just watch it on YouTube. I'd play it for you, but I don't want to kind of take the weight off of it. You should go and watch this on YouTube, and you should say thank you to Budweiser for making something that's a little more wholesome than I would say Bud's been accused of recently, losing a significant portion of their fan base with very interesting ad in a bathtub with somebody else who dons a dress. And look, you can look at the situation as bigoted. I don't know how. But you can also look at the fact that the football fans are the football fans, and you can't change it. On the NFL's own Super Bowl page, their focus isn't on the game. It's on who we hired to be the referee here, the officiating crew. Sean Smith is going to make his Super Bowl debut. Does anybody really care, or does anybody pay attention to this stuff anymore? No. Everybody's focused on the halftime show, and to the point that it's just going to be the first one where I think it has a true competitor. Bowled over. A major update over another rival Super Bowl halftime show with Christian music alongside Turning Point USA. It turns out we were about to have 3 competing elements for halftime for the Super Bowl. I know that's kind of strange. And the good news is one of them kind of just backed down and decided to push it back a year or more, maybe, or just do it at another time, maybe for another event, maybe an NBA game or maybe a World Series. I don't know when you'd take a break during a World Series. Honestly, the only time to do any of these things was during halftime. So this story we can just kind of set aside, knowing full well that it's really just Turning Point USA that's going to have a competitor. And the rumored performers are performers that people voted on. So they're genuinely interested. In fact, as we look at what's happening with the Turning Point halftime show, well, they're kind of debating between Nicki Minaj and Creed or both. That's at least what I've been hearing. Officials have not confirmed that the show is still happening outside of mentioning it during a previous Turning Point event in Phoenix at the end of 2025. That would have been America Fest, where I was this last year. And because I want you to show you that this story is up to date, if you take a look here, it says as of Thursday, January 22nd, a couple days ago, we don't know who's performing. It's a complete unknown. Aubrey Leitch, the organization's public relations manager, told TMZ on the 9th that the halftime show is still on, but fans will have to tune in during the Super Bowl to find out who's performing. As I said before, it's suggested we're going to get Creed and Nicki Minaj. And honestly, that's not surprising. These are people who were big hits with the people at America Fest and or Amerifest. And I'm going to tell you, the Nicki Minaj thing is not surprising. Her and Erica got along very well. So, yeah, not to mention the fact that Nicki Minaj has set some recent Spotify records that I don't think anybody will be able to do again. The primary conversation is still going to be around Bad Bunny and what his performance is going to do. And as I suggested, it's going to be terribly divisive. It already has been. And I have a feeling that this will hurt Super Bowl ratings during halftime, which could devalue the value of the advertisements in the future. This is a huge gamble to stick your finger in the eye of an administration that's indicated that it doesn't want more divisive stuff. I don't get it anymore. I don't understand. Let me know what you think. Give me your thoughts. Do you understand what's going on here? Are you going to be watching the Super Bowl? Is there a chance that this goes over so badly that it damages the Super Bowl in a way that future Super Bowls have less people's eyeballs going forward? Do you think it hurts football? Do you think this hurts Bad Bunny's career, or do you think he gains more notoriety? For the life of me, I don't understand why anybody listens to that, because I've tried. It's a hot mess. But is it really worth sending out all of the soldiers from all of the various media outlets, including Out Magazine, to talk about how this is, well, going to be the gayest Super Bowl ever? Not that I care, but is that really the right marketing strategy? And if so, did the NFL help develop it? Your thoughts are as good as mine, so let me know what they are down in the comments section below. And as always, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, see ya. But not watching the Super Bowl, at least not halftime. Probably not the game either.